dive into the world of Aristotle's politics as we explore timeless questions about the ideal state, government, and human nature. This book summary delves into Aristotle's observations of the world around him and his ideas on how a society should be arranged for the common good. As we venture through the various forms of government, we'll discuss the crux of Aristotle's thinking, humans as social animals, possessing logos of reason and speech that allows us to make moral judgments and live a life based on our beliefs. By the end of this journey, you'll gain valuable insights into Aristotle's theories on the virtuous life, the role of the middle class, and the importance of law in maintaining a balanced society.
Aristotle's view on human nature. Aristotle, an ancient Greek philosopher, sought to answer fundamental questions about the best form of government. Before tackling this issue, he explored human nature, with the belief that humans possess reasoning and speech abilities, making us moral creatures. Through observation of bees and their division of labor, Aristotle likened the functioning of societies to that of hives. However, humans surpass bees in their ability to discuss and reflect on the organization of society using logos, the Greek word for speech and reason. This gift of speech enables us to make moral judgments and cooperate with others to live according to our moral ideas. The nature of political animals. In his political treatise, Aristotle debunks the argument that humans are born free and cities and laws are artificial constructs that restrain us. Instead, he argues that the polis, or city-state, is our natural habitat and fulfills our freedom rather than negating it. Humans are political animals, as living in a community based on reason and speech creates a shared moral language that reveals the common interest of all. Aristotle believes that the highest part of our natures can only be satisfied within a polis, making us political animals by nature. Aristotle's ultimate argument on virtuous city-states. Aristotle believed that the purpose of polis was to pursue virtue, and city-states that didn't adopt this principle were poorly governed. His principle that everything consists of a ruling and ruled element also applies to humans. Aristotle argued that cities ruled by their lowest elements pursue the basest aspects of human nature while those ruled by their highest elements pursue virtue. In his opinion, the cultivation of virtue in city-states is necessary for leading virtuous lives. The justification of slavery by Aristotle. The concept of slavery in ancient Greece was viewed as just as it was vital for the city-states to function due to the large labor requirements. Aristotle's conventional defense of slavery was based on natural grounds, claiming that some individuals were, by nature, slaves and needed a master to reason on their behalf. This shocking statement meant that natural slaves were incapable of reasoning for themselves and only had a bodily existence suitable for laboring. The relationship with a master allowed them to participate indirectly in the life of reason. Aristotle believes that many slaves are not natural slaves and should be released, but wholesale abolition was not an argument considered due to the importance of slavery to his overall argument. Aristotle's reasoning on slavery. In the book, the author discusses why Aristotle defends slavery instead of arguing against it. Aristotle believes that free humans possess a unique way of rational thinking that sets them apart from enslaved individuals. He rejects the idea that rational thinking is just a tool for satisfying bodily desires and needs. Aristotle argues that natural slaves are individuals who cannot reason independently. Non-Greeks are also categorized as natural slaves because their societies are not devoted to a life of reason. However, Aristotle acknowledges the intellectual achievements of non-Greeks in various fields. According to Aristotle, natural slaves can accomplish technical reasoning, but they lack practical reasoning, which focuses on the highest good. The highest end, according to Aristotle, is virtuous living. Free individuals capable of practical reasoning participate in this kind of life and strive for the common good. Aristotle's regime theories. Aristotle proposes that the most virtuous people should rule the city and lists three distinct regimes to achieve this. Monarchy is the best form of government, but since finding one person supremely virtuous is unlikely, polity is the most practical regime. He also identifies three deviant regimes: tyranny, oligarchy, and democracy, that prioritize private interests over the common good. Polity needs to address class conflict as the most practical correct regime among the three. Aristotle's view on democratic rule. Aristotle argues that despite their theoretical merits, democracies are often unstable due to class conflict. He believes that citizens can come to share a moral language based on common ideas of what is just and what is unjust. However, in democratic city-states like Athens, the question of justice didn't unite citizens, it divided them. Class conflict arose between the rich and the poor, each arguing that citizens should either be equal in all things or unequal in all things, including wealth and political power. This led to open conflict, which caused the rich to abandon democracy and seek to install themselves as exclusive rulers, further inflaming the poor majority's sense of injustice. Aristotle proposed two solutions to end this vicious cycle. The law as an antidote to the ambition of the rich and the poor. According to Aristotle, the powerful and the poor act selfishly, ignoring the common good of the city. Aristotle believes that laws are the solution to this problem. Laws are impartial and unbiased tools that prevent abuse of power. By delegating as many decisions as possible to the law, political conflict can be diffused. The virtue of citizenship. Aristotle argues that extreme economic inequality erodes the foundations of the polis, leading to class conflict that destroys the bonds among citizens. The wealthy are too arrogant, and the impoverished are too malicious to be virtuous citizens. Thus, the middle class is more likely to safeguard the interests of the polis than the rich or the poor. They are content with their lot in life, and their interests align with those of the city as a whole. When the middle classes make up the majority of citizens, the best regime becomes possible, the polis, where citizens exercise power to advance the common good rather than their own interests.